tries to get rid of it, throws, and he finds McMillan, who bails him out at the 28-yard line.
A weapon for Bryce Young, and this allows the entire rest of that receiver room to be put in places to succeed.
You know, sky's the limit for our room, and I have no doubt in my mind that everybody in our room can make a play.
Young, quick throw over the middle, it's caught. First down, McMillan.
You know, we just got to go out there and ball.
The Carolina Panthers might have quietly built one of the NFL's most dangerous offensive duos, and not enough people are talking about it. With the number 8 overall pick in the draft, they brought in Tetairoa McMillan, a 6'4" receiver with elite ball skills who consistently gave college defenders trouble.
Field, look at end zone, got his man McMillan.
I mean, if I can't reach the ball with 2, might as well just go with 1.
That's a score, touchdown, Arizona.
Now, he's pairing up with Bryce Young, whose accuracy and timing can turn tight windows into big gains. This isn't just another rookie receiver story. It's the start of a partnership with the tools to challenge defenses in ways Carolina hasn't seen in years. The question is, how much better can Young get? For Bryce Young, the next step in his development could come from pairing his precision passing with a receiver built to extend his range. Young has always excelled at timing, ball placement, and anticipating where his target will be. He makes throws into tight spaces because he trusts his ability to put the ball just beyond a defender's reach. That skill only matters, though, if the receiver can win the battle for the ball once it gets there. Last season, that was a problem for Carolina. Young lacked a true X-receiver he could reliably target on contested throws. The Panthers finished 30th in the NFL in passing yards per game and didn't have a single receiver with even 50 catches in 2024. That combination meant that many well-placed passes became incompletions, not because of poor execution from the quarterback, but because there wasn't often someone on the perimeter who could consistently secure them against tight coverage. That's why Tetairoa McMillan changes things immediately. At 6'4", with roughly 10-inch hands and 31.5-inch arms, his catch radius is far beyond anything Young has had in the NFL so far. Those measurables mean Young can throw higher, wider, or into smaller windows without worrying about the ball being out of his target's reach. For a precision passer, that's not just an upgrade, it's a new set of opportunities. During his time in Arizona, McMillan regularly showed how those traits translate into production. On high-point fades down the sideline, he would elevate to take the ball away from a corner who was in great position, using his frame to shield and his hands to control the catch.
He unloads, he got a man wide open. TMac.
Even when a defender was draped on him, he had the reach to claim spaces others couldn't get to. One play like that can flip 3rd and long into a drive-extending first down. For Young, having that type of target means more aggressive decisions are back on the table. Routes like deep outs or corner fades, throws where placement is everything, are now safer because McMillan can separate in the air, not just on the ground. If Young puts the ball towards the outside shoulder, McMillan can extend to touch it, while the defenders can only contest from behind. That's a physical advantage that directly complements a quarterback who thrives on anticipation. You could already see glimpses in off-season drills. Young is releasing the ball before McMillan finishes his break, trusting his size and control to win at the catch point. Even with defenders tight to him in practice, the rookie is pulling in those passes. For defensive backs, that shrinks their margin for error to almost nothing. Across a full season, those plays can keep drives alive. Instead of settling for short, safe throws on critical downs, Carolina can target intermediate and deeper options. In turn, that forces defensive coordinators to adjust their coverage and account for the threat outside. For Young, it's a chance to fully use his vision and accuracy without needing flawless separation from his receivers.
I'm super excited. Again, someone who's been in the background working, I'm just ready to go. Guy that wants to work, he's excited to be here every day regardless of what the circumstances have been, so I'm super excited for him.
McMillan's size and reach don't just fill a gap, they reshape how Carolina's passing game can operate. It's the first time in Young's pro career we'll have a receiver who can physically dominate the point of attack and finish the plays his skill set creates. And while those gains are felt all over the field, the real test and the biggest potential payoff comes from when the field gets shorter and the windows get tighter. That's where McMillan's presence could become even more valuable. Carolina moved the ball at times in 2024, but lacked a consistent, dominant target in the scoring area. They finished 30th in passing yards and didn't have a single pass catcher reach 50 receptions, which helps explain why so many drives ended in field goals instead of touchdowns. For an offense trying to build rhythm, those missed 6-point opportunities were costly. The problem wasn't always getting into the red zone, it was finishing once they were there. Inside the 20, the game changes. Defenses crowd the box, safeties close quickly, and every passing lane feels smaller. Pure separation from route running is harder to come by because the space itself is limited. That's when size and reach becomes real advantages. Last season, most of Carolina's primary receiving options were under 6'1", which meant corners could match their catch radius and contest throws aggressively. Without an obvious physical mismatch, winning those one-on-one battles near the end zone was rare. That's where Tetairoa McMillan offers something the Panthers haven't had. At 6'4 plus, with contested catch grades among the best in college football per PFF and CBS Sports, he's shown an ability to thrive in the same condensed spaces that gave Carolina trouble last year. His production backs it up. 10 touchdown catches in 2023 and another 8 in 2024 at Arizona prove he can turn tight coverage to scoring plays. What makes him dangerous isn't just his frame, it's his ability to use it well. McMillan has the timing to meet the ball at its highest point, taking away any chance for a defender to beat him over the top. On back shoulder throws, he can adjust late so that the coverage never sees the pass coming till it's too late. Those skills matter for Bryce Young because they expand his margin for error. Passes that might have been too risky with a smaller target, slightly high, slightly outside, are now realistic touchdown throws. Young's style fits perfectly with that profile. He's not a last-second gunslinger. He's a quarterback who throws early with touch and trusts the receiver to finish the play. In the red zone, that can be the difference between 3 points and 7. A fade to McMillan's outside shoulder isn't just a hopeful toss. It's a calculated decision that leans into both players' strengths.
Young makes a move and flips it to the end zone.
Cardinals rush 4. They protect Bryce and he completes. McMillan off to the races.
Even in early camp work, that pairing has been visible. When the offense runs red zone periods, McMillan is often lined up wide against the first-team defense. Sometimes the play is a quick slant where he uses his size to shield the corner. Other times, it's the high fade, where his position and reach make it nearly impossible to defend without drawing a flag. Either way, he's winning a large share of those matchups, which has already made him part of the Panthers' main red zone packages. Improving red zone efficiency can change the shape of a game. Turning even a few of last year's field goals into touchdowns forces opponents to play from behind and opens up the entire offensive playbook. With McMillan in the fold, Carolina has a proven contested catch specialist who can give Young a dependable scoring option right away. While that production potential is obvious, what's making coaches and teammates take notice is how quickly he's fitting into the offense. That raises a bigger question. If he's already operating as a go-to option in camp, how far along can he really be this early? Some rookies spend their first year just trying to adapt to the speed, complexity, and physicality of the NFL. Tetairoa McMillan is already drawing this kind of training camp reviews, usually reserved for veterans. Early reports from PFF, RotoWire, and CBS Sports describe him as pro-ready and a likely immediate top target in Carolina's passing game. That sentiment isn't about 1 or 2 flashy highlights. It's about the patterns coaches, analysts, and teammates keep noticing in how he works, how he learns, and how he finishes plays. For most first-year receivers, the biggest challenge isn't just the athletic jump from college to the pros, it's the mental side. The pro game demands advanced route adjustments, disguised at the breaking point and a deeper reading of defenses, often out of the same formation. According to camp notes and veteran comments, McMillan is handling those demands ahead of schedule. His route refinement from his sophomore to junior year at Arizona was already noticeable. Now, coaches see sharper breaks and better tempo changes that create separation even without elite straight-line speed. That's why quarterbacks and veterans like Adam Thielen have openly praised how quickly he's grasping the playbook and how dependable he's been in practices.
He's a guy who comes to work every single day. He's doing the little things. He's doing extra stuff. He really is motivated to be the best football player he can possibly be and really the best teammate he can possibly be.
Concerns before the draft often centered on whether McMillan could consistently separate from NFL-level press coverage.
I feel like Coach Moore is going to really turn me from good to great. So being able to, just be around him as much as possible is going to only elevate me. So
the fear was that bigger physical corners could force him into constant contested catches, narrowing his margin for success. But in camp, matchups against starting caliber defensive backs, he's shown he can still win, and not just when left wide open. Many of his early catches have come with the defender tight to him, the route anticipated and contested, yet he still secures the ball. For a quarterback, seeing a covered receiver make the play anyway builds trust quickly. That's the kind of reliability that leads to a WR1 workload. College production backs up what's happening now. Per PFF and CBS Sports, McMillan led the FBS in contested catches and explosive receptions last season. That combination, the ability to win in traffic and turn catches into big gains, is rare. And there's no evidence so far that NFL defenders are wiping it away. If anything, his early performance suggests that physical, contested football is still his game and is still winning. That refinement in his routes, combined with strong hands and a massive catch radius, has made him a camp favorite for Bryce Young. In red zone drills, those traits show up in jump free-fall situations, where McMillan shields defenders and finishes through contact. On intermediate timing routes, his sharper cuts give Young the fraction of space he needs to fit the throw. This syncing of precision and trust is exactly what a quarterback looks for when deciding where to go on third down or in late-game situations. Thielen's endorsement carries extra weight, too. As a veteran who's thrived in timing-based offenses, he knows how much preparation and attention to detail matter. Publicly noting McMillan's readiness isn't just praise. It's insight into how the staff and other players are already slotting him into the game plan. That's a difference from treating a rookie as a situational piece. It's preparing for him to be part of the core passing structure from week one. We've seen this scenario before with other rookies who quickly earned their quarterback trust. Players like Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, who didn't spend their first year on the periphery but stepped immediately into central roles. McMillan's style is different from theirs, but the underlying pattern is similar. Technical polish, contested catch success, and off-field chemistry leading to more opportunities. If that usage and timing with Young keeps progressing, the ceiling for his rookie output is high. Multiple outlets, including CBS and PFF, have projected him as one of the most impactful rookie receivers this season. Analysts have even said that if chemistry and volume align, a 1,000-yard year is within reach, not as an expectation, but as a realistic upside. Whether or not he hits that mark, the important takeaway is that the Panthers may have found a receiver who plays with the poise and dependability of a veteran far earlier than most. That possibility matters well beyond his individual stats. In a roster still building its offensive identity, a player operating at that level right away can reset how a passing game is structured and how defenses respond. And when that player's connection is with your franchise quarterback, the impact has the potential to stretch far beyond just this season. Why is so much of the Panthers' outlook tied to two players? Part of the answer lies in where the team has been recently. Carolina has been navigating a rebuild, working to lay a long-term foundation while searching for stability at quarterback. With Bryce Young, the top pick who brings accuracy, decision-making, and poise, they secured their signal caller. But, like many young quarterbacks, he stepped into an offense missing a true number one receiver. A player who could take over games, demand the ball in high-leverage situations, and force defenses to account for them on every snap. That gap had real consequences. Without that kind of weapon, the offense often felt constrained. Play callers tended to prioritize avoiding mistakes instead of leaning on Young to attack vertically. Rather than dictating matchups, Carolina adapted to whatever defenses allowed. Opponents could load up against the run or press outside, knowing there was no perimeter receiver who could consistently win a contested throw or punish single coverage. For a developed quarterback, that environment slows progress. Small errors become costly, and opportunities to drive the offense are harder to create. A legitimate top target changes the way the offense operates. When you have a receiver who can beat high-end coverage without extra help, you can call plays knowing there's always a high percentage option in the progression. You dictate where the ball goes instead of reacting to defensive structure. Drives stay alive more consistently, setting the pace of the game and keeping the defense off the field. For Carolina, Tetairoa McMillan had the measurables, body control, and contested catch ability to step into that role right away. When McMillan wins his matchups, defenses have to adjust. If cornerbacks can't handle him alone, safety help is needed. That extra attention opens softer zones underneath for Adam Thielen, more space on crossing routes for Xavier Legette, and a cleaner middle for tight ends. Even the run game benefits. Fewer defenders in the box can boost rushing efficiency, which builds opportunities for play-action shots. As defenses risk single coverage on McMillan, Young now has a deep ball option with a high likelihood of winning the catch. Panthers front office and coaching staff have moved with intent towards this moment. As ESPN and team coverage have noted, keeping continuity with the same head coach, general manager, and quarterback gives stability to an offense finding its identity. Pair that with a first-round investment at wide receiver and targeted free agent additions, and it's clear the plan revolves around putting Young in position to lead. Multiple analysts have gone a step further, calling McMillan pivotal to Carolina's success this season and naming him among the rookies most likely to have a franchise-level impact.
He's super competitive, he's super smart, he's tough, and he does all the things that you're looking for in a number one wide receiver.
It also fits a broader pattern in the league. There are past examples where adding a go-to target accelerated a young quarterback's development. It's not a guarantee, but the influence can be significant. Matthew Stafford's connection with Calvin Johnson or Josh Allen's surge after Buffalo traded for Stephon Diggs both show how a focal point receiver changes the complexion of an offense. The production lifts, the defense must account for more, and the quarterback operates with greater freedom. McMillan and Young have complementary skill sets that have already shown promise in camp. The offense is naturally aligning around that connection. If McMillan can consistently draw coverage and keeps drives moving, he stops being just another piece in the system and starts becoming the player culture around which the system is built. That influence doesn't just open up each game, it can influence how the team develops year over year. And while the tactical advantages and production potential are clear, the impact of this pairing isn't defined only by their in-game contribution. How they build understanding, trust, and influence beyond the snap could be just as important for shaping what the Panthers become next. In the NFL, talent draws attention, but lasting success often comes from how players connect and lead within the team. For Carolina, the early camp signs point to Tetairoa McMillan being more than just a skilled addition to the roster. He's quickly earned respect from both the coaches and veterans, a rare achievement for a first-year player. In many locker rooms, new arrivals need months before proving their voice matters. Here, his approach and work habits have accelerated that process. Veterans like Adam Thielen have spoken openly about McMillan's maturity and readiness, with Thielen noting that the rookie works like he's been here for years. Reporters have echoed that praise, highlighting his consistent attention in film sessions and his sharp execution in camp reps. Head coach Dave Canales reinforced that trust after a preseason sideline catch, telling media, "That's what we're counting on." Those comments, documented in team coverage, underline that respect isn't just theoretical, it's already influencing how the offense is being shaped. This trust isn't only built by game day highlights. It comes from showing up early for drills, staying engaged during walkthroughs, and following through on coaching notes. Observers noted McMillan's tendency to linger after formal practice, often with Bryce Young, walking through timing routes or coverage reads. That's where chemistry develops, in the quiet repetitions that no one sees except the players and the few coaches on the field. Young's leadership style fits naturally with McMillan's temperament. In college, Young gained a reputation for not only commanding the huddle, but also fostering unity across his team. McMillan had said publicly his goal is to make Bryce's job easier every play, and that mindset complements Young's steady, detail-driven approach. On the field, they've been seeing adjusting routes together in real time, with Young making a subtle hand signal pre-snap and McMillan instantly altering his release. A sign of shared understanding that comes only from extra work. That off-script rapport is helped by having mentors in the room. While Thielen's advice on reading coverages and refining route stems has been valuable, its impact is multiplied because McMillan applies it consistently. The result is a young receiver who not only has the physical tools to beat coverage, but also the trust of veterans to execute when it counts. For a rookie, being viewed as assignment sound is as important as making a spectacular grab. On game day, leadership and chemistry show up in moments most fans miss. In the huddle after a negative play, a reassuring nod or concise route call can settle the group. Between drives, clear exchanges about a defender's tendencies or an adjustment in leverage can become the difference between a near miss and a scoring play. The more fluent Young and McMillan become in those exchanges, the more they can dictate the flow of a possession without huddling or wasting motion. History suggests that Young is at his best when he has a target who can see the game through the same lens. At Alabama, his sharpest stretches came alongside receivers he trusted to recognize and react with him. McMillan might be stepping into that role now, not just as an outlet on designed plays, but as a receiver who can make the right choice when a play breaks down. That's where leadership and chemistry translate most directly into wins. This combination of shared standards, mutual respect, and constant communication is hard to quantify on a stat sheet, but often makes a difference in tight contests. It's also why the pairing already feels like more than just a promising QB-WR match. Their habits suggest they're building the kind of connection that can handle the weight of the season. If pressure mounts late in tight games, who do you want Bryce to find? That's the simple test of whether this partnership truly changes Carolina, and one worth watching. Bryce Young and Tetairoa McMillan combine accuracy, size, and early chemistry in a way that's rare for any young quarterback-receiver pairing. Young's precision passing meshes with McMillan's 6'4" frame and contested catchability, backed by his production in Arizona. 2 straight seasons, over 1,300 yards, including 84 catches for 1,319 yards in 2024, after 90 for 1,402 in 2023. As the number 8 overall pick, he arrives with both talent and a proven track record. This year, how quickly that connection translates will be key. Do you think McMillan hits 1,000 yards as a rookie? Yes or no? Tell us why in the comments.